Hello there, and welcome to the most inspiring program on television, Touched by Faith. My name is Ayorindi Adepilo, and I'll be your anchor on this edition of the program. God is indeed in the business of touching His people with His blessings and miracles when they touch Him through faith. Before we go into the testimony of today that will inspire you to trust more in God, we'll be listening to a wonderful sermon from our Father in the Lord, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor E.A. Adeboye. And after that sermon, we'll be right back with a testimony that will inspire you to put all your faith and trust in God for your miracle. Stay tuned.
By the time his children left Egypt, in Exodus chapter 12, verse 37, Exodus 12, 37, there were 600,000 men, not counting children. I don't know how great you are now, but you can become a nation. God can multiply you so mightily that the world will say, we've never seen this kind before. Amen. However, I need to warn you before you say, all right, I understand. I will make God my partner. You need to understand that if you make Him your partner, He will not be a junior partner. He will be your senior partner. If you allow Him to step into your boat, He will become the CEO. If you don't believe me, ask Peter. Luke chapter 5 from verse 1 to 11. Luke 5 from verse 1 to 11. You allow Him to step into your boat, not only will He prosper you to such an extent that you'll be frightened, He will move you to higher grounds. I will close with just one story that you've heard before. Several years ago, I was visiting America, attending a conference, and on the night, particular night that in the conference, the organizers wanted to raise money. And before they started, there was this young man who called his wife forward, and they went to the altar, and he asked the organizer to give him permission to speak. And he announced to us, he said, "Brethren, please, I want you to do something today." There are about 17,000 of us there. I want you to give generously. And the reason I'm asking you to give generously is because whatever all of you give, that's what my wife and I will give. We said, "What are you saying?" He said, "I will match everything you give, dollar for dollar." And we also, this man is finished. Those who didn't want to give now decided we will give to make sure we get him into trouble. God have mercy on Christians. 17,000 people gave beyond their normal giving ability. At the end, he said, we should please wait, because he wanted the whole thing counted. They counted it several people joined together and they counted it, and they counted $3.5 million. We said, you're in trouble now. He took the microphone, he said, "Brethren, is this all you can do?" So I said, this man must know something I don't know. At the end of the program, I make sure I cornered him. "Sir, what is your secret?" And he said, 5 years ago, I started a business with $500. And I said to God, "You will be my senior partner. I will not insult you with 10%. I will take the 10%, you take 90%, but it's up to you. It's your business. He said, the last year, my company made a turnover of $50 million. He said, I know what I'm doing. I said, thank you very much. I don't need to say more than that. Because some of us see the glory, we don't know the story. Some people see how the Almighty God has been gracious unto me, and they like to open their mouth and say all kinds of things. It's none of my business. I don't need to answer you. I just keep on riding high with my King.
Welcome back. If you gave your life to Christ during the altar call made by Pastor E. Adeboye, I would greatly encourage you to go on our website www.redeemersnetwork.tv, www.redeemersnetwork.tv, download the e-decision slip, fill it and submit, and we will be in touch with you. For more of messages from Pastor E. Adeboye on a 24/7 basis, please log on to our website, www.redeemersnetwork.tv. You can also find us on Roku TV, Apple TV, and other TV stations. You can also find us on Dove Television. You can also follow us on Instagram at RCCG_RNT, at RCCG_RNT, and you can find us on YouTube and Facebook via Redeemers Network Television. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube via Redeemers Network Television. And now to the testimony of the day. When a woman takes in, she begins to wait with expectation, looking forward to the day of joy when she'll give birth and people will come to celebrate with her. But what happens when months before her due date, she begins to lose blood from every area of her body? Her ears, her nose, her mouth, her privates, everywhere blood keeps oozing out. The doctor says neither her nor her child might be able to make it out of that situation alive. But then God steps in. How does the story change? And how does the story end? I'll leave you to find out. Listen and be blessed.
Happiness everywhere, real deep
All right, my name is Akitomide Motayo Emmanuel. Here's my wife, Akitomide Adesho, and there is our lovely baby, Oluwakiton Jason Akitomide. We worship at Global Harvest Church, and I personally work with the Sanctuary Keepers department. While she works in two departments, she works in the choir department and also in the drama department. I
was actually born into a Christian family. My mom was a deaconess in Redeemed Christian Church of God, and where I personally gave my life to Christ when I was in secondary school. That was in 2005. So since then, giving my life to Christ has been the best thing so far, because without God, I am nothing. And I got to realize then that the life we're living before I gave my life to Christ was not the best. But life with Christ has been the best so far. The experience has been awesome.
All right, so for me personally, well, you know the way it is basically when you give your life to Christ, you collect it back, you give it, and it's just a very funny scenario. But actually, finally, I gave my life to Christ during my university days. That was about 2011 or 2012, thereabouts. So, and so far so good. Since then, it has been an awesome experience. God has been very wonderful to me personally and even to my family. We've seen God's hand across the board. So it's been a wonderful experience. And we enjoy, we look forward to enjoying more of this.
On the 18th of February 2023, while I was heavily pregnant, then I was 38 weeks gone. We woke up in the morning. So my husband just said, what's this on your nose? Around this side of my nose. So I just did like this. So I just saw little clotted blood. So I just felt probably I had maybe a cut or a wound or something. So I just said, okay. So at the long run, I was feeling probably my nose when it was it was moist, yes. So I used my hand to pick it. So I saw blood. So I came to meet him in the living room. I said, babe, see blood. So he said, I went to take a tissue and I went to take tissue paper and I used it to clean it. So like that from morning till around noon. In the afternoon, I noticed the pain didn't stop. So I was still using tissue to clean it. So I just told him, I said, you should talk to our doctor. But this time around, we should not joke with anything. Like, okay, let's talk to him and hear him out. So he called our gynecologist and he told him that so and so is happening. So the gynecologist said it's because of the weather, because around that February there was a little bit of harmattan. Yeah, he came back here. So he said maybe it's the weather that we should do, that is normal. So I said okay. So in the evening, okay, I think he went to get something. So I went to take a shower. So as I was in the bedroom, I just sneezed. So immediately I sneezed, clotted blood came out of my nose. I said, wow. And it was much. So I felt, what was this? So I snapped it so that I was going to show him when he comes back. So I think later on I sneezed again with the tissue paper. So I snapped that one too. So when he came back, I just showed him that, see what I saw while I was in the bedroom. He said, that means he needs to talk to the gynae again. So when he called the gynecologist around maybe 7 p.m. So he said, we should just look for ice block. We should use it to compress the nose. That is still normal. I said, okay. So we did that. So that was what we did till maybe around 10. When we got to the room, I said, okay, I want to ease myself. So I went to the toilet. Immediately I finished easing myself, and I stood up. As I was about flushing the toilet, I just saw everything was red. So I just looked at it. I saw it was blood. I just called him. I just said, babe, come and see. So immediately he just said, let's go to the hospital. Yeah. So we went to the hospital. Thank God our clinic is not too far from us, because it was late. It was around past 10. So we just strolled down to the hospital that night. The nurses were even saying jokingly that, Mrs. Akintomide, where is your load? I said, which load? I didn't come here to come and deliver you. I only came to complain. So they said, even at that, you ought to bring your load. Can you are due, yeah, this and that. I said, let me first see the doctor. So they called the doctor that was on duty that night, and the woman attended to me. So I explained everything that happened. They now told my husband to go back home to get the baby's things, like the load, our load. So he came back home to get the stuff, and he came back to the hospital. So we were there. Everything was fine.
Hoping it was a delivery.
Hoping it was probably the baby that was coming or something. So in the morning, around 4 a.m., I woke up to go and use the toilet to ease myself again. So when I got to the toilet, it was the same thing that happened. Like I urinated blood. So I had to call the doctor that she should come and see with her own eyes that, okay, this was what I experienced yesterday night. So when the doctor saw it, the doctor was like, wow. So she said she's going to talk to our gynecologist. So she called a gynecologist on phone. So I don't know what they talked about, but our gynecologist now said they should give the phone to my husband.
Well, the doctor gave me the phone because the gynecologist is also our church member. So there's been that relationship there. So he had to come out straight to me that basically this issue is not something they can manage in their own clinic, that they have to refer us to the general hospital, which is at UCH. That there they believe they will have adequate care to take care of the situation. So that was how we started the preparation around 4 a.m. We had to reach out because I think it was also an environmental sanitation day or so. So it was going to be hard to get means of transport and the like. So we had to reach out to one of our neighbors. She came around past 5 a.m. and the like. So we were rushed to we took her to UCH. and we went through the emergency center, although our doctor already gave us a letter and we were to meet there just for them to understand the previous records of what has been happening, and so that they can basically take it up from there. So when we got there, they attended to us, and from the emergency we filled forms here and there, we ran some tests, and that was how we were admitted. She was admitted to previously she was at the emergency unit. We were just observing and doing some little tests. We were running errands, get this, buy this, fill this, just basically do all of those things. And later on, I think that same morning around maybe 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken, then she was moved to the labor ward, hoping it was also because she was already due, right? So hoping that, well, it's something they can just probably take delivery and the like. So it was from there we now started another series, which I believe she would have more information on.
when they told me, actually, I said, God forbid, I will not go to UCH. Because, UCH is always, people's orientation about UCH is when your case is very critical, that is when they refer you to UCH, and when it's so severe. So when they told me UCH, I said, God forbid, our family will be I will not go there in Jesus' name. So my husband said, deceive yourself very well. You better let's go. That is where they can manage you. That is where they have specialists. I just said, okay, if that is where I'll be fine, there's no problem. Let's just go.
The way I personally lived my life, but I know that God speaks to me. Anytime something evil is going to happen, I'll definitely have that fear in me. But the moment I want to do anything at all, and I don't have that fear, I don't know, it just works out. So I personally, I know the way God speaks to me. Like, it is usually in form of fear. If I don't get scared, then I just go ahead. So the minute the doctor told me, I was like, let's just go ahead. There's no big deal. And that was it.
So I was wheeled to the labor ward. I didn't even use my leg to walk. I don't know. They put me on the bed and started pushing me. I was enjoying I was enjoying that really, so I can be on this thing like that. So when we got to the labor ward, that was on Sunday. That was on the 19th. Yes. Doctors were coming, asking questions, so many questions. Some of them asked, they said, do you have blood disorder in your family? I said, blood disorder, okay. No, there's nothing like that. Okay. Have you ever experienced this before? I said, never. I said, even while I was young, all these small children having blood coming out of their nose, it has never happened to me or any of my family members. So they kept on asking series of questions. But the letter that we were given, our clinic wrote and gave to us, I think they ran a test. And in the letter they wrote platelets 6,000. But I'm not a doctor and I'm not in that line. So I did not understand what it actually meant. But they wrote platelets 6,000. Platelet counts 6,000. So it was better I got to know that, okay, naturally the platelet count in a normal human being body system should be 150,000. So they told me mine was 6,000. I felt, wow, 6,000, 150,000. That's a lot. So they explained that it's because the platelet is really low. That is why my blood is not clotting. That is why it wants to go out by all means. That is why the blood is flowing out by all means. It was later I got to know that. So back to when I got to labor ward, doctors were asking questions, this and that. And if I have any wound, does it take time before to heal up or to clothe or something? I said no. Once I have any wound and I clean it up with cotton wool and spirit, that is all. They were all surprised. So they said, I asked them that, what's the cause of this? At that time, I was bleeding through the nose, and at that time, I was bleeding through like my urine. Yes, my urine was blood and the nose. At that on that particular Sunday that we got there. So they passed catheter so that my urine can, so it's the blood that was coming out of, it was stark red. So like that, doctors were coming, they were passing drip, they passed drip. So we were on a series of tests.
Just monitor the blood level, yeah.
But when they collect the result of the PCV, it was still 32%. So I was surprised that this way I'm losing blood. How is it still 32%? That was still on Sunday. So a doctor now came and told me, Madam, at this point, we will need to take normal delivery for you because we cannot section you, we cannot open you up. So I said, why? He said, if they take me to the theater and open me up, because blood is trying to come out of me, that I might bleed to death. So that was what the doctor told me. They said, we cannot section you. So at this point, we will want you to go through a normal delivery. So they even said, if you have tear too, but if I have tear, probably while trying to deliver that, it might be difficult for them to stitch it. That might be bleeding from there too. I got scared a little bit, but I just felt, at least God is in heaven, so I'll be fine. One of the nurses, some of the doctors that came around, they noticed I had blood in my eyes too. So I just said, let me see your elbow. So they all said, they didn't talk. But it was later that some of my family members came. They said, I had blood in my eyes. So I had to look at it from my phone. So I said, there was this side of my eyes, there was blood, like clotted blood was there. So I said, okay. Before I got to know, my mouth, every corner of my mouth, I had clotted blood, like everywhere, on my lips, as in up and down, everywhere, like
and even the gums,
everywhere. Like I could not even, at a point, I could not open my mouth to look at someone. I was like this because I have a picture on my phone. So I was scared. Like, what is this? This is. I don't know what this is.
Very strange.
Yes, even on my tongue, everywhere. So the doctors came, they were like, some of them were saying, I've never seen this type of thing before. I've never seen this before. One even said in her 10 years experience, she has never seen this before. So I just felt, I said, what's the cause? He said, it's pregnancy. I said, if this is how pregnancy used to do somebody, my mommy did not tell me. So they said, no, that's not that. It's just probably 1 in 100. That it does not even happen like that. I said, okay. Later, I think they now did a full blood count for me again. They now said that the platelet that was 6,000, it has gone down to 2,000. They said, what is happening? They kept on giving me drugs, kept on giving me. At the end of the day, they said, I'm going to need blood. Like, they called my husband to go and get a pint of blood. They gave him a form. They said, we'll get platelets. There's something that.
And FFP.
An FFP. All those things that are composition of blood.
Just to boost the blood level and help in terms of surgery, the probably delivery and everything, just to maintain the status quo and the likes. So
I was there. So they said, okay, they will induce me. They said they will induce me so that the labor can be faster. So I think they put something inside the drip. So that was where the film started. I just noticed the thing would just come like contraction every 5 minutes. I would just shout, Jesus! I'll just urinate blood. Like
this is
a lot.
Catheter.
Yes.
Like normal.
It wasn't even coming through the catheter like normal for my normal distance. So like blood was coming out. I felt Jesus. My body will come down again. So the nurses were coming to clean me up. All the wrapper I had with me, it was soaked. Everything was soaked. So it was happening like that. Sometimes I would shout, Jesus, the son of David. Like, it was even funny to me later on actually, but that time it was not funny at all. So at a point, I told the nurses, I said they should not clean it again, they should just leave it. So I was actually lying down in a pool of blood. Yes, because the blood was much on the bed. Because there's no point. Because there's no point. Once they clean it up, another one. So
we just allow it to accumulate and then clean and just allow it to accumulate again. And
so at that point, I was even stark naked. I could not use any clothes to cover my body again. When the doctor said, "Madam, cover my body," I said, "This one is not the matter of cover your body. I can't even cover my body again. Anybody that wants to look at me should just look at me." I was just there. Blood was coming out. Sometimes I just called the nurse. I said, "I need a bowl." I use my hand to pack the blood like this into the bowl. So like that.
There was even one morning, because they usually clean them up very early, I think around 4 or 5 or thereabouts. So there was one morning I came around just to assist. So after I cleaned the blood, the bowl was almost full. One of the health attendants told me that this blood is very thick, that she should get another fresh one. And normally, at least that one that they give you should be enough, regardless. But because it was too thick, they told me that she was going to give me another one, just for me to, clean again. And it was that serious. Like there's nothing we were just cleaning and cleaning. And even the bed itself, when we were leaving, that bed itself, they had to just pack it, even after using all those materials.
Disinfectant, all those.
So it was just really serious.
Welcome back. Wow. Looking at that testimony, you can begin to understand why God is called the impossibility specialist. We may not be able to finish the entire testimony in today's edition. We'll come back with the concluding part in the next edition. But till we come your way, don't stop trusting God. Don't stop connecting to Him by faith, for He's able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think. And by the next time I hear from you, you'll be testifying. Till then, God bless you.
Redeemer's Network Television.